Warning, this video is intended for audiences who are 13 or older. If you are not 13 or older, please fuck off and tell your parents to moderate what you watch online.
Hey, we're back. Hey.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we get started, I need to tell you guys a story now. I almost fucked myself up with my canon of the series, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so as you guys know, Toei does not release like promotional photos for these stupid miniseries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that means I actually have to go through these episodes and grab screen caps to use to have like an image on for visual as we talk about these shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously when I take screen caps, I have the video on mute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's right because I'm just skimming through random frames and I just don't want random fucking driver sounds to be popping up every fucking 5 seconds as I take screenshots, right?
Yeah.
Right, so as I was screenshot, I wasn't paying attention, right? So as this gets revealed, I mean, we're gonna talk about it, right? I got to the scene where Papa Kurizaki burned himself holding the driver, right? Then I skip forward to the hospital scene, right? Where I saw Yukimi and a person covered in bandage, right? Right? And then I skip a little forward where they got real close. I'm like, oh. Right? Because I didn't have, some would say, subtitles on, right? So I didn't know what these characters were saying, right? So I didn't think, I thought like, this is a really weird character dynamic relationship established all of a sudden. And then I just skipped towards the end, right?
Oh my god.
It wasn't until I actually watched this episode that I realized, okay, good. I didn't have these characters cuck each other with my own thoughts of these characters cucking each other.
Yeah, thank God for that. That you didn't just like
I
fuck up the
actually
history
thought
of
that
the
for some
fucking
reason
series for
they
yourself.
established like some weird relationship between Yukimi and fucking Papa Kurizaki.
Oh yeah, you know that would be really weird. Yeah, that would have been really weird. I
mean, he is daddy.
He is father. Yes.
Like father, like son. You know what they say.
Sure.
Hey, look, he did bring up his child before he died. You know, right? That's you gotta let them know,
He's like,
right?
oh yeah, by the way,
Yeah. I was really I didn't record the most recent episode on fucking of Revice with you guys, but that last one was the one where we have the flashback to baby George like standing over his dad's like grave, and I was scrambling to do math with that because it's like, all right. So it says that his mom died in like 97 or whatever, or that he died in 97, that his dad died in 97 or something, and George was still alive then. George looks like he's about 6.
Yeah.
Fast forward about 25 years. All right, so George is like 31 now, I guess?
Right.
Early 30s? Like, that's when you started talking about timeline stuff, that's what I thought you were talking about, because just getting the timeline fucking, like, figuring out exactly how everything lines up even within Revice proper is a fucking task at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's very confusing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, hey, there's a lot of things happening in this Legacy series.
Yeah. Oh, well, is this really? I don't think this is a legacy. Would you just?
I mean it's literally called. It literally says. They literally call it Revice Legacy. That's all I mean.
Still, this is really more like a spin-off.
You can't. Well, it's a prequel. You can't even call it a Legacy series, really, because that's the thing, right? Is like, I feel like this is the kind of thing that, like, for comparison with Saber, right? Those Ghost crossover episodes,
right? Yeah, like I would consider those as Legacy series. Right.
Those were Legacy, but again, like, those are Legacy things that, like, add to Ghost, really, if anything, right? And it's just, like, there's something about, like, the production cycle with Kamen Rider and, like, tokusatsu in general, like, Toei tokusatsu, where, like, they're putting out a shit ton of stuff and just, like, gambling on, like, yeah, people want more content. That's what we need to do. We need to fucking like make more content of the things that are coming out right now,
rather than before we actually get like the viewer or like the numbers in from I don't know what the fuck the Japanese equivalent to Nissan is, right?
But rather than fucking like, I guess Build is an example I can think of where it's like, hey, look, here's a supplemental video where Rogue gets a power up and Grease gets a power up,
like
and blah,
Rogue,
blah.
right? Or how they actually made a movie for a Geese because people are like, oh yeah, people actually like the character of Geese, so we're just gonna release media
of Grease,
yeah.
So, but this is like happening while it's happening, and it's like it's not that it doesn't detract from it, and in a case like Revice where it's actually a compelling story, hey, it's good, and it's great to have these like backstory things filled in, but it's kind of saturating it, you know? It's like how people are starting to feel like Marvel fatigue and like Star Wars fatigue. It's like, you're doing a lot before we even finish this, and you really fucking gambled on this, like, being, like, perfect already. And I sure hope you're right, because you've been wrong before.
I mean, it definitely feels like they're trying to go down along a Marvel route, because especially from what we've heard about Saber and all of its fucking bullshit spin-offs that's been happening as well. You know, like there's a
look, it's over. We're free. We're free from the curse.
Well,
you know,
we're never free. We're never free from the curse of that. Saber.
I don't know. Hey, look. If I learn
like an immortal phoenix, Saber continues to rise.
Oh boy.
Hey, Mumeiken Sword DX or whatever, now on sale.
Oh yeah, they're releasing a scale model of the sword, so they're releasing I think it's an actual 1-for-1 scale as well.
I think that's what it said, but it looked way too small.
Yeah. Alright, I could have just been a photo. It's just real funny how they're releasing the Mumeiken as a 1-to-1 but when they released the Saber sword, it wasn't a 1-to-1 scale, which I think is really funny.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Which one has caused more destruction to the entire fucking Kamen Rider universe?
Yeah. Also, I also think it's great that we're also released the Mumeiken when they still haven't released a fucking figure of Fountain yet, which I'm really mad.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, boy, hey, look, I made a mistake of getting into the Saber toy of the figure, not the actual toy swords, right?
Yeah.
Right, and hey, I'm still missing like 5 riders from that series, and I still have them. I still have 3 of them unboxed.
Why would you choose
sitting on my table?
Why would you choose Saber of all things to start collecting rider
Well, here's the
figures?
thing,
Because
right?
there's
Saber
so many
might
of
be
them.
A really bad story-written season, but you can't lie that Saber has probably like one of the better suit designs.
I mean, I agree with you there.
For some of them,
it
also has.
I mean, to be like what is it? Fuck. What was that Tetsuo's fucking rider name?
Buster? No, Slash.
Slash, right? I mean, Slash is kind of over the top and fucking dumb, right?
I like Slash. It was just like, boy, those suit designs were like, because everything was based off of the night motif and stuff. They all started to get derivative to a certain extent, and by the time we got to like Master Logos and like Storius getting like their suits, like it was like, okay, well these are clearly like repaints and stuff. So like with slight modifications. So it's like it started off original, and then they were just like, fuck, we gotta keep making more of these fucking things? Ah, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, let's just put stuff together.
Anyway, speaking of suits, Kabuto, I mean, not Kabuto, fuck. I was about to genuinely call him Kabuto. Fucking goddamn Vail, like,
oh yeah, he's free. Out here. He's free. He's no longer bound by the human world, you know? He can finally get a physical form. He doesn't need any to be a host for him anymore.
But also, I was just gonna say, because I since that first episode where Genta transformed, we haven't seen him transform again in Revice proper.
Oh yeah,
but,
that's true.
So I'd have to go back and look if this is like true then as it is like now. Right. But like the suit looks way literally cleaner than I think it did in the when he first showed up, and I don't know if that's an intentional thing of like it's aged or if it's just a difference in production quality, but it's so fucking shiny I cannot pay attention.
That is true, right?
Like it looks so polished and like clean.
I also don't know that this miniseries is filmed like under like a more dented camera, right? Like it's definitely way more grainy.
That's what I'm saying. I can't tell if it's just the production quality or if it was an intentional thing of like they're trying to imply that it's just an older suit.
I mean,
right?
Because like it's clearly different when we get over demons, but like the fucking like the I don't know if this is just like Vail at the time or just like Vail under this particular like screen like this like screen recording with this lighting. But anyway, Genta's stand decides to protect him from bullets.
Yeah, and I know, our favorite villainous character throughout this miniseries. This guy.
Noah director number 1.
What a...
Oh man, I'm so sad for he was such a compelling villain.
He literally just came in and died in like a second, and it's just kind of the most...
How dare you do that to my Noah?
He's like,
well, I hate to tell you this, but you're a donut now.
He really was. I mean...
Like, I joked that a stand would reach, like, his stand reached out and, like, caught the bullet for him, but he literally got fucking, like... I mean, if it was time-stopping, it'd be Zawardo, but it's like, he full-on gets, like, a JoJo's punch.
I'm just, like, it was just so unceremonious of a fucking death of, like, I guess is what is a major villain, because he is...
I
would just say a main antagonist, right?
Look,
he's definitely been the main antagonist of this miniseries.
He does like basically do a good like amount of footwork for Akaishi and just how the organization that would later become Phoenix.
That's the thing is, it seems like Akaishi's been doing the passive manipulation thing, like staying on the side and pretending to not be like as important as he is.
And
then just like being like, oh yeah, I've been in charge this whole time.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be fair, there are issues like that.
I'm just a quiet old man who's handling accounting, and then oops, I guess I'll just he's like the Mitch McConnell of of Phoenix and Noah. He's just like, oh well, I mean, I guess, I mean, if that's what the president wants to do, that's what the president wants to do. Meanwhile, he's fucking breaking his hands and looking like he just walked out of the crypt.
Yeah, but it's just... Well, I mean, I guess we'll get into some of the later issues I have with this fucking series as a whole, since this is the final one. But, like, after, he basically gets fucking donated. And so, like, afterwards, I think, hold on, I had to rewind.
Yeah.
This is fucking...
Yeah, was it, Vail just straight up just murders him. He's like, oh yeah, because he's been doing it before.
Vail punches him straight through the stomach.
Yeah, it's like look, I haven't had a problem about this before, you know? Right? Murder hasn't stopped me before, you know? Right?
Yeah. Oh my god, you murdered someone. Well, yeah, but he was also a bad guy, like...
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that caused the family to die.
He's the one who's caused...
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, also, Vail was also about to kill Yukimi. Like, there were definitely getting to be some, like, tensions, but, yeah, and then, apparently, the belt works like a fucking, the only comparison I can make is a lightsaber, where it's like, well, you don't have to be a Jedi to use one, but you're better off if you do.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Apparently, because Vail himself is like, you need a demon for that, and it just immediately works. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, I know, it's just very kind of confusing. I don't know if this is lore breaking or not. I mean, there is a moment where I thought they do...
I mean, it was like one of those scenarios where, like, you need the power source, right? Like, it's dangerous for you to use X objects, right? I mean, you can still use it, right? Look, it's like this. It's like me using using an it weapon when I put all my stats in Fate, alright?
Okay.
I can still use this it weapon, you know, but hey, maybe it was a bad idea to put all my fucking character stat in Fate, you know, right?
Yeah, you know, maybe you should use something that would, use faith.
Maybe I should. Yeah, right. That's like the easiest comparison I could make this to, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, look, Elden Ring reference, so hot right now,
Yeah, it's still hot.
Still hot.
Now, hey, which reminds me, June 30th, Monster Hunter Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Hey, fuck you and your Elden Ring. It's all about, we're all going to Europe now.
Okay, congratulations, I guess. I literally have no care for Monster Hunter, so good on you.
Well, you're a little bitch.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, so Junpei fights Vail to the death, I guess.
Yeah,
and this,
and beats him.
Yeah, and this abandoned contract floor that still has a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look. You see those those buildings that are being constructed? Sometimes they just rent them out to mysterious the pseudo government contractors to run their experiments, and no one can hear them scream over the fucking sounds of clanging metal and drills and everything.
Right.
It's a very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Gets his ass kicked, right, and everything.
Until it doesn't.
I mean, it's a mutual ass whooping. Mm-hmm. He beats Vail so hard that he explodes.
That's my thing too. Like, they just say, like, hold on, please. I'm just trying to remember what the reason was. So, like, oh, what happens if he just wins the fight? It's like, oh, he's gonna fucking die, But like, that shouldn't technically work, right? Because, like...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we've ever established, because, again, right, Daiji beat Kagero.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've never... Yeah, I mean, I can see that Kagero would die if Daiji died. I could see that Vail would die if Genta died. But I don't see how the demon dying is necessarily... him dying. It's implied to be like a relationship that they both need each other, but they really, for as far as we know, don't.
Yeah.
And it keeps kind of getting proven that they really don't, especially like once Vail leaves his body even.
Right.
But it's just...
And we know that about the other ones too, that their powers are related to it, like the relationships they have with their demons are related to their abilities, but it's not like they literally won't fucking function without them.
It's just...
Well, actually, hold on. I guess it's different for... No, it might be different for Genta because of the nature of how he got Vail, right? Because he had the operation done on him, like, had his heart taken out or whatever.
Right.
I mean...
And they put Vail in, basically, I guess, as, like, a replacement heart.
I mean, I guess.
Right.
But it's just kind of...
It's like, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. I was gonna say Parasite, but there's another thing. Did you ever read or watch Buso Renkin?
Buso Renkin?
It was a series made by the Rurouni Kenshin author after Rurouni Kenshin.
I have not.
Yeah,
it was
yes, okay, yes, I remember. Okay,
like,
I'm looking at something.
Like, like the whole thing of that was like the main character is like the whole. It's very. It's not Bleach-esque, but it's like, oh, they're monsters and alchemists and blah 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 blah, and the whole Buso Renkin is about like it's like battle alchemy or whatever. They all have these like crest things that like turn into weapons that they have alchemy for or whatever. And the main dude gets fucking like just run through by a like blade in the first like chapter or something.
Okay, yeah.
And in order to like keep him alive, the main girl like puts one of the Buso Renkin like crest things into his chest like as a replacement heart, and so like he both has one that he can use as a weapon, but if his weapon gets hurt, like it's literally like if it gets destroyed, that's the only thing that he has as a heart. It's like Iron Man, you know. He has to use the thing that could kill him. Like him using it gives him power, but if it gets destroyed, then he dies. Like in addition to, you know, just fucking dying from anything else.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it's like that, where it's like Vail is both a power source for him and a vulnerability. Because he's been taking the place of his heart, and by Papa Karazaki, like, capturing him instead of letting him die, it's keeping that heart, like, alive and separated and contained, but not destroyed. So it can't influence Genta, but it also won't.
So
it also isn't going to be like something that can hurt him.
I guess
or get hurt.
I guess the easiest thing I could compare this to would probably be like fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Like Davy Jones. That's like the thing that kind of pops into my
Yes, that's also a great. Yeah, I would say that's also it. Yeah, except if Davy Jones's heart could fucking get up and punch Jack Sparrow in the face and shit on his bed.
All right.
But yeah, also,
yeah. But I think Jack Sparrow win that battle, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I think people are failing to realize that Jack Sparrow and Mera from the famed Aquaman series both lost. They both lost.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but one more than the other, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then.
But anyway, yeah. So they fucking with the power of fire.
Also, hey, I forgot to mention the part where.
Oh yeah.
Boy, hey, what is Papa Kurizaki's actual? Because we can call
I
him.
think it's Masumi.
Right.
I think it's. I'm gonna look it up. You keep talking.
Right? How? We forgot to mention the part earlier where he tries to kill. I mean, not kill himself. I guess atone.
Oh, the fact that he kind of just like, hey man, I'm cool with dying for my sins, my guy.
I'm fine. Oh yeah. Masumi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had the whole. You're talking about the whole bit when like Genta was like legit about to like fucking punch Karazaki out of fucking existence, right?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, just take me."
Yeah.
I hope my son doesn't fuck up like I do.
Hey, I should probably be put on trials for conducting 71 prior inhumane experiment.
70 prior experiments. He's the 71st.
Right.
So prior experiments 70.
The right thing for me to do is to be put on trial, but I should do the righteous thing of offering myself to death instead to atone for my sin.
Why waste time with the judicial system? Just kill me. Just take me out.
Yeah, just kill me now. Right?
It's not like any of my experiments. It's not like any of the other experiments are alive to feel justice for my death.
Yeah, that's right. You can take the easy way out.
Also, I should mention I have a son named George. I hope this never comes up in the future for you in any way.
I hope he doesn't make the same mistakes I do. And to be fair, he doesn't. He does it. He makes better mistakes than you did.
Just the fact that him mentioning that he has a son was the riskiest fucking shit you can do with a man who is bent on revenge. And just like about to fuck your shit up, and he's like, "Oh, you have a son? He'll feel my pain too." Like that's a big risk, my guy. You should have not said that shit at all.
I mean, also like when you think about it's from a story writing perspective. It also felt like a risk because we were going like, okay, I remember at the beginning we're like, is George alive now? Because how old? This goes back to the whole like calculating the time of like how old George is supposed to be. Of like, okay, where does this like fall? How old is the dad? And like, where's George in this? And but yeah. Luckily, the fire takes him instead of punches.
Yeah. He's like, man, he really took that fire like a champ,
As you know, it's normal for people to survive being set on fire.
Yeah, and
oh boy, well, you say that, but in some experiences I've known, no, it's not. No, it's not. People do crazy things at landscaping jobs sometimes. People do crazy things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
and then the FBI get called.
Sacrifice himself for the demon and everything, right? And so they take Genta out, and this is where I almost previously lost it at this when I had to take.
Because you assumed.
Because I assumed this was fucking Karizaki the entire time.
To be fair, right, it does make sense that it would be Karizaki. Because he really burned himself the fuck up, and after the fight, Genta's not really, at least his face isn't that fucked up.
Right, yeah, because we don't see
any
actual,
burns and
damages to his. I mean, he's damaged.
He's got the typical burned, scratches and scrapes and bruises.
Damages, right? So when I was originally getting screen cap and I had to watch the scene or get screen cap of the scene muted and unsub, I was so fucking confused, right? As to why fucking Kimi is so intimate with this fucking burn victim with
yeah.
Right, but anyway, but then it turns out, it's actually Genta. It's Genta, you know. Right?
It's the Invisible Man from everybody's favorite show, Doom Patrol.
Yeah, but God,
fuck. It was actually no, hold on. Who was it? Fuck. It was actually. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna try to.
Okay.
It was actually Venom Snake the entire time.
Oh,
okay,
Jesus.
yeah, sure. Fucking Venom Snake from MGS5. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Fucking V has come too. Yeah. And so, fucking... Yeah, but this is at the point where, fucking... She's like, hey... Well, he's Gentai, I mean. He's like, hey, so who are you? Who am I? It's like, oh, well, you know what? I'm Yukimi. I'm your wife.
I'm your wife.
Yeah.
This... Which, again, cuts back to the question of... So, is this grooming?
Yeah?
Is this grooming?
Boy, could you miss it this
grooming,
week?
But it's definitely just like... no, it's not grooming. There's a difference with that. No, there's a difference. But I will. All I'm saying is that it's a difference it's a different way of taking over. I'm just saying it.
It's a different way of taking over. Yes, some might call that manipulation, aka grooming.
Look, it's not okay. Maybe it's just because my perception of grooming is a bit different than what you. Maybe it's just because
you can groom adults too.
Well.
You can.
It's just like I don't really acknowledge. Not acknowledge. This is more like I don't really think of it like that when it comes.
Oh, he doesn't see victims.
Okay,
damn, William. Damn, that's fucked up.
Oh my God! Look, okay, fine. Call it what you want. I just thought it was gonna there's gonna be another word for it. That's all I'm saying. It just didn't come to mind. Okay.
I mean, okay. I'm being slightly hyperbolic by saying grooming, but it's like, all right. If you take a person with no memory, adult or otherwise, and just tell them this is what your life is, and it's, to be honest, truly not what the situation is, it's just the way that you want it to be, you're kind of taking away choice from them.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's kind of, that is, the whole premise of what makes grooming, problematic, right? Take Aguilera. This is just using an in-series comparison. It's someone who doesn't know better being told this is what your life is and this is what you should be doing and this is who you're going to be in a relationship with, and them just going, well, okay, I don't know any better, so sure. And in the real world, it's fucking horrifying, but in this world, it's you're either set up with a big-ass demon rock or you're set up with a pretty nice, mom type, I guess. It's I'm not going to say good grooming, but it's
the thing is,
it could be worse.
I get it, right? But the thing is, here, that's the thing with with this whole Vail, in general, is just the fact that this definitely needed a lot more time, to really especially.
Yeah, no, I'll let you. I got pretty mad by the end of this thing, right?
Uh-huh.
What was shown to us, I felt like we were definitely. I literally thought there was a scene completely cut by the end of it, right?
Mm-hmm. What you mean, with the whole?
I mean, I'll wait till we get to the end.
We're basically at the end, right? Was there anything else?
Oh yeah, wait to the end. But anyway, yeah, and then Yukimi tells a man with amnesia
that he's her husband.
And that she also needs $10,000.
Yeah, and then gets him to give her 3 kids so that he can't get out of the relationship.
Yeah, well, that's just the way the.
And even if he does leave, she's gonna get that good. I mean, I would say alimony or child support, but let's be real. There's no fucking way Genta could fucking provide for himself. He'd probably die in the streets.
Yeah, all he does is YouTube, and I don't think he even makes a profit from that shit, so,
Oh, he definitely doesn't make a profit off of it.
Look, he definitely does not know. He knows TikTok exists. He doesn't know how to use TikTok, alright?
Yeah, fair.
That's the best way I can describe describe it, right?
Yeah, but then it comes with like then it's just I mean that's basically the end, right? We just talked about like the whole dinner thing.
Yeah, everybody goes, oh, it's so happy, and we found happiness, and it's gonna be great. And
we've had so
sure, everything's gonna be good.
Everything's good. And she's gonna carry the secret to her death.
With these two in their relationship, it's just rushed as fuck. Like I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Like the first episode was like 30 minutes or something, right?
No, I think
it was like just under 20.
Yeah.
Double check.
I think this has the same length as the first episode.
Oh no,
right?
yeah.
Because I know the other episodes were like 10 minutes, right? Because that's the thing, right? When we're
the other one was like 12. Yeah.
Right, because we thought this was going to be the same length as Revice the Mystery, right? How all episodes were like 15, 16 minutes. We're like, oh yeah, that's enough time for a miniseries, right? Like if you were to tell me a miniseries is like 50, I was like, yeah, I would believe you, right? And then we found out all these episodes were actually like, with the exception of the first and last, they were like 10 minutes, like, oh boy, that's not enough time. You really need those extra 5-10 minutes to establish.
Just give a little something.
Like,
right? Because that's when we get to the ending and I got real annoyed, right? Because since episode 1, like, they were teasing like this fucking Yukimi and Omega. I was like, alright, how is this gonna tie up to this wedding scene, right?
I was waiting for
I
that
thought this
too.
was gonna be a major part. Because they kept showing the ending scene, because the ending scene was made up a mixture of both recorded random ending scene sequence, right? Like her walking around or her sleeping
she's just kind
in
of
the fucking
like
bathhouse,
right?
But but for some reason, I actually thought like this wedding scene. I couldn't tell if this was like a scene that was filmed purely for an ending sequence or clips that they were saving to use in the future, right? I legitimately thought this wedding thing was gonna be a big thing, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't end up being like, I feel like that would have been like the perfect bookend, at least to these two's relationship and how it developed. Because the thing is, that's barely developed at all. We basically get like an episode where they're like, here, have some food. This is kind of nice, and then then they get captured, and then they kind of care about each other, and then they're already thinking about elopement in the next episode. I'm like, this is not. To these two's relationship to begin with, and it's just, and there's also the fact that like Vail in the main series has made this whole big point. It's like, hey man, your friend, he will betray you, right? So I was thinking like this whole time I was gonna be thinking that there's gonna be a lot more to the relation than what we got in like fucking in Legacy Vail, where it's just like there was a closeness in like maybe like a friendship of some sort between the two, especially like maybe if they were in like the jail cell or something that could have been developed, but then you don't get any of that shit, and then he's kind of claiming he's like you're my friend.
Their relationship was extremely rough.
Yeah, we were buddies, and it's just like no, you weren't. There's nothing in here that suggests that you were friends in any way, shape, or form. This is literally Vail just projecting like what he thought was like a friendship, but really wasn't, and because he was just being a manipulative dickhead, right? But it's just like this is not really believable for me for what I'm seeing here and to what I was seeing in Revice Main, and it's just really annoying, and it's just like it felt like the explosion would have been a lot bigger too, because it always felt like it wasn't like. It didn't feel like it was gonna be like Karazaki, like blowing up because he was sealing the demon. It felt like he was doing something intentionally to help him escape, to help Genta escape from the lab to begin with, which is whatever, I guess. But I'm just kind of like, everything just feels rushed, and I'm just annoyed with how little content we got for what should be a very important backstory to Revice, because it sets up literally mostly everything for what happens in the show, and then what we get is just like, the relationship could have been so much better if we just had more time with it, like with everything.
Yeah, I would say it's also weird because for something that sort of, it's like this is initially billed like from the narration of Yukimi, but it's not. But so much of it is like, how do you know the parts that you weren't there for?
Right.
Like it's not like it.
Right, because it's can't be telling her this stuff, right?
Because if it's coming from her point of view, it should be. You'd think it'd be more about her relationship with, like how she was at the beginning and her relationship with Genta, and then like learning all this stuff. But it's really more of just Genta's backstory, Junpei Shiranami's backstory, like all of this like Veil stuff, Noah stuff, all of these other things. Very little that has to do with Yukimi, but she's telling all of these. She's the one that has to do all of the explaining for all these things that she wasn't really there for, and was very in a tertiary way, like involved with, you know.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's just like I feel like it would have probably benefited from just her perspective alone, you know, because then it could have at least focused on more of building the relationship between.
But the problem is, even when we focus on her, like, we're still gonna be missing out so many parts because a lot of this, right? Because that's the problem when you have like how Geta's like a character with amnesia, right? He gets amnesia twice, right? Which is the worst fucking thing, right?
Yeah, he does actually.
He gets amnesia within a span of like 2 days.
Yeah, honestly,
or at least a week. Oh, right? It's like
no, that's okay. I'm allergic to fucking amnesia.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's like right. Even if we would like have like this whole right, we would still have. There would still be a lot of more missing. But she doesn't know everything, right?
Yeah, but it's like at least
about what's going on.
Like if anything, that's something you could use Busan for. Where Busan like maybe he's tracking him down and he explains
I mean like I thought that this was gonna be like a Busan and Yukimi telling us stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. We don't really.
But
Busan telling like the Noah side and her telling like the side when he's like escaped.
Right.
Yeah, but
it doesn't present itself like that throughout the entire. It just keeps presenting like, oh no, this is Yukimi's fucking storytelling. But I was like, I don't think she knows what the full story is, right?
And it's just
I don't think she knows what's going on in this fucking another Pella military base that's happening, right?
Yeah. It's just
right.
It's just a lot of wasted potential, honestly, to me, and I'm just annoyed by it. I'm just like, it's just like we could have had something a lot better, especially if they just extended the runtime for these fucking episodes. But I felt like they really just didn't want to like do that because they wanted it to run concurrent with the main series and not to like so it doesn't like take as long to get certain information than what we'll get from the main series in general,
Right, because that's the thing, right? Because we're not discussing these in the same. We aren't discussing these episodes in the same week as their episode but the problem is, if we were actually discussing these in the same week as the Revice episode, these episodes are literally airing to set up information that are presented in the same week of the corresponding Revice episode, right? Because we are discussing these like a week, 2 or 3 weeks after their corresponding Revice episode, right? Which makes it worse, right?
Yeah.
That's how these episodes were presented and advertised. Like, hey, what the fuck are they talking about in this week's Revice episode? Watch this week's fucking Veil episode to figure out what's the deal, right? Like, right? That was the whole.
Yeah,
point
you'll learn more if you watch something else.
Right?
Get better context about how we got here.
Right. Yeah, and then by the way, post credits scene, Akaishi finds the demon.
Yeah.
Akaishi
scary.
Will return.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just
Akaishi Homecoming.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a disappointment what this spin-off was.
Akaishi and the Multiverse of Madness.
No, I don't want that at all.
Akaishi and the Sinister Six.
No, we're stopping this. No more.
I'm thinking that guys like you and me should team up. Make some kind of group.
Like, what are we gonna call it? Sinister Six? That sounds a little villainous. I don't think I want to be viewed as a villain. It's like, nope, you're the villain now. All right.
Look, boy, you think they're gonna get to sex? You think they're gonna...
Maybe we should make some kind of group. I'm thinking Phoenix.
God.
Look, I don't know whose problem is, but I'm gonna blame it all on Genta, alright?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Alright, that's the end of this. Hey, alright, I can't wait for the next expansive Revice fucking
Yeah, goo goo gaga, here we go.
Oh boy. Oh, I got a lot to say about that. And why it's
goo
really
goo gaga,
bad.
I'm a baby, hey, best boy back in town.
Right,
just in time.
That's the end of this. Alright, coronavirus is no thing. Watchers, wear a mask, get your shots. The booster's a thing now. Okay, thanks, bye.